Welcome to Call Your Hits, a Storm Riders airsoft podcast. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Today is our last regular episode before we take a bit of a break for the holiday. This year, as you may have noticed, both Christmas and New Year's Day fall on Wednesday, so we doubt that many, if any of you would be tuning in on those days anyway. And what's more than that, we're actually fast approaching our 200th episode. And so we'll be starting next season, next year with that. So stay tuned for that. And we likely will have a little supplemental thing during the holidays, but no spoilers about that. So today, Pat and I will be doing another episode of rating or roasting viewer-submitted pictures or listener-submitted pictures. This time around, I've opened the floodgates on the Discord and said you could submit whatever you want. Replica or gear. Replica or gear, right? And you could even submit more than one per person. So I also kind of went rogue and trawled the Discord for pictures that you guys have not shared with me, but you did share them on the Discord, so we're going to rate or roast whether you like it or not. Pat has not seen any of these photos since you sent them to me, so we'll get Pat's cold reaction
innocent.
first. Yeah, exactly. Well, yes, I guess. We'll get your cold reaction first, and then we'll roast the crap out of you. Or maybe we'll actually like it. Who knows? We'll see. Before we dive into it, please know that this is all tongue-in-cheek. It's as close to what you might call a Call Your Hits comedy special. So it goes without saying that we appreciate everyone submitting pictures, and we're, this is all in good fun. Apologies to those of you who prefer to listen to the podcast rather than watch it, but this is definitely going to be one best appreciated in video version, which you can see on YouTube, but you also will be able to see directly in Spotify.
Oh, cool.
So sit back, put on your best flame-proof suits, and we will get to it. So this is Ambo, our fellow Legionnaire from Germany. This, for context, this is his Border War kit. Which he submitted, which is his typical green zone camo. I do think that's a squad automatic weapon. I think I see, if I'm unless I'm very much mistaken, it looks like a carry handle.
Yeah, I see a box mag in there somewhere, and
so it looks like
an M249 kind of stock.
Yeah, or a mini me, as they might call it in Europe.
Yes.
So yeah, what are your
civilized people?
Yes. What are you thinking about this?
I dig it. I feel like John would love this.
Yeah.
The belt line is very, what I think of as very John. Mm-hmm. Tons of kit, but it's all mostly sort of looks like it's hanging off the belt.
Yeah, he's got the second kit we can get a closer view of his actual rig.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, this looks like it'd be good concealment. There's definitely a Shima in there, which I love. Mm-hmm. Such a comfortable piece of kit. He's gillied up well. I feel like if he's tucked into, if you were prone tucked into the backdrop there, we'd have trouble seeing him. So it's definitely going to work well.
Yeah. As I recall, his squad does a lot of recon work at Border War. So that would definitely tie in with that. I mean, crazy scrim job on the replica.
Sick, right?
I mean, you can't even tell. I mean, we looking at this, it's zoomed in like this. It's evident that it's some sort of mini-me or saw. But at first glance, you can't even tell, right? Which I guess is the whole point. Yeah. And I don't know if it's an HPA kit. I do think he runs HPA.
I think. I think there's a line down there.
I think that's a line. Yeah.
Which also is scrimmed.
Yeah, really great camo job.
That's pretty cool
on this kit. Yeah. Let's take a look at his actual rig. So this is the rig.
Oh man, that is a beefy belt line.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if this is
just.
I know
beefy.
He used to have a Tasmanian Tiger. I'm not sure if this is what this is. He sent me a bit of detail on the layout itself. He's got kit there for mags, of course, or ammo. He's got a thermal camera that he carries, canteen, snacks, IFAK, all the typical stuff. And for Border War as well, he's carrying rain layers, or snivel gear, what they warming layers, etc. He's got spare batteries in there. You can see actually in this we can actually see the HPA line, and it looks like it's got the same Pencott green zone camo all over it as well, right?
Yeah, no, I really like this. Seems like a super practical kit to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel like you don't need, if you're running a saw, especially, like, you don't need mags on your chest rig. You just need ammo to dump into the box at some point in the day.
Yeah, and I know he does carry M4 mags in addition. I think he said he's got like 3
Yeah, they're
or 4 M4
probably
mags on
on
his
the
person in addition to whatever, right?
yeah, they're probably on the left here. Like the
Yeah.
mags, the pouches with the clips. Yeah, those over
Yeah,
there.
that certainly looks that way. Yeah.
But I suspect those are probably more for teammates than to feed the saw, based on my experience. But
Yes, although I mean, I guess you can do both in a pinch, right?
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Any port in a storm. But yeah, no, I dig this. A little envious of the phrase thermal camera. Not that I play any night games really, so like whatevs. But that seems like a cool toy.
Absolutely.
um,
Yeah.
you know, like I can definitely dig that. But yeah, I feel like you disappear pretty good wearing this. Which, I mean, like you said, he's doing recon, so that's the point. I would think. Can we pop back to the other?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. And like those look like good hiking boots.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like
Weird. This is
they
the
look
only
like
thing in my life where I look at people's shoes. It's weird.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
really, right?
kids are like, check out my Nikes. I'm like, not
Don't
the target
care.
audience. Sorry,
Yeah.
kids. Is that a Delta mic? Looks like a Delta mic.
Yeah, certainly could be, or maybe it's
Or
one of
analog.
the some similar. Yeah.
Something to keep his teeth in.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
want to
no,
say Odin, but that's not the right name.
that kit looks boss.
Yeah, it's a really cool kit, and a kit like he has here is the inspiration really for like me trying to make like the sustainment kit with the FLC, although or the flick as they call it. Like it's the setup is a little bit different, but still similar.
Yeah, well, I assume you're
In
still going to have mags on your chest? Question mark.
yeah, for sure, because I mean I'm still running
Yeah,
like an
M4.
M4 or similar, but or an M4 as Glick would call it. Yeah, so yeah, it's but even if I wasn't, like I think if imagine a scenario where I decide to run your SSW for a game or something like that, or an event, I might still carry M4 mags for my teammates, like you were
Yeah,
referring, right?
totally.
I think is not necessarily a bad idea, but yeah,
We're
super
used to
slick.
the weight anyway, right? Like whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, I like feels really slick. I feel like this is also built like to spend a lot of time being prone in the bushes.
Mm-hmm.
And like it shows in both this and the other picture. Like he's got nothing on his front, so he's keeping super low to the ground, which I suspect is again part of that recce, trying to be sneaky, or I suspect succeeding at being sneaky kind of stuff.
Yeah, very well thought out. I mean, obviously, speaking with Ambo on the Discord and sort of in private as well, like, he's put so much thought into how he plans everything, and it's so evident, right? It's also extremely well put together. Like I think, especially when you look at something like this, you're like, okay, not only does this individual sort of know how to set up their own stuff for themselves to make it work, but it also it works as one piece. I mean, there's other people who we might see later. All of it works, but it's kind of like disparate, or it's like whatever, different patterns or what have you. Whereas this does look like the uniform is the word that comes to mind.
I mean,
right?
he bought everything there to go together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is this is great. I know we're not doing the actual rating tiers, but this would go into the S tier for me for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like,
all right, let's look at the next one. So next one is one that I ripped from the Discord. This is our good buddy Ben or Frosty. This is his kit
so
from
comfortable.
yeah. I think Colin took this picture. Anyways, the point is this is his kit from Rising Tiger. I think the op that they just did at the end of, in the fall in New Zealand, and he just looks so cool. Like I think that scrim. Well, actually, I should let you talk first because I mean I've seen this picture before. Like, what's pops out to you?
So I mean,
this picture.
This is one of the best arguments I've ever seen for one of those Cobra Hood. I think I have the right name. I was looking at them there towards the end of the season, right? So the sort of like the pieces he's got the scrim on are a sleeve, shoulder, head with a hood. Mm-hmm. And like I was looking at those and thinking, maybe especially for running the M27, I feel like that could be a cool, useful thing for me.
Yeah.
And it's sort of been on my like, oh, maybe I should buy one of those list, but they're also not super cheap. And
What? Speaking of not super cheap, do you notice the replica to
oh
his
yeah,
right?
I'd like to claim it's not the first thing I saw.
Yeah.
I'd be
Okay.
lying, but I'd like to claim it. Yeah, that's shiny.
Yeah.
Um, I love me a HK anything really, but no, that is really slick.
Yeah. It's
Camo
a
looks
really
great
good
for the
looking.
environment. I like that
Yeah.
he has brought his own transpo. Like,
Yeah. I don't think that this was theirs, but they did get a ride to plant a bomb with this. So I think this is sort of uh, contemporary to that story that they were telling on the podcast
yeah, yeah,
several weeks ago.
I
But
figured,
yeah.
but yeah, love that. Looks like it's a really good setup. He looks like he's running probably, unless there's more on the back, he's got 4 mags for the big
Yeah.
boy,
Yeah. I
which
think
like
so.
makes sense to me. Mags are chunky, and it's definitely like I can see the scope there, so he's definitely running an accurized kind of setup.
Hmm.
Um, I dig the mismatched multicam gloves. Speaking of someone who wears mismatched multicam gloves,
Yeah.
um, yeah, this is rocking again. Like, I feel like this would be pretty good. I think if you were dealing with like not really a frontline thing, but like how dense some of our woods are, I feel like
Hmm.
the gillied up stuff gets tangled really easily.
Yeah.
Um, but that's not an issue for the environment he's clearly operating in.
Well, it's interesting because they were talking to us on the podcast about some of the thorns and bushes that they have there that are like basically essentially like razor wire. They're like these really really dense shrubs that are almost impassable. But then you go through that versus the forest that you can see in the background here, which is clearly a lot more passable, right? So it's you have to pick your battles, I think,
That's sort of
with that kind of stuff.
some
But yeah,
spots we go around.
yeah, exactly, yeah,
Okay,
and
so
it's
that's
just
actually kind of relatable to the woods here then. That's
mhm.
cool.
No, for sure,
Different
yeah.
biome, but like, yeah, no, I like this. I mean, like, really, like he's got the gorgeous 417 there, and like that was going to sell me on the kit anyway.
I think it's a G28 actually.
Oh,
If not the nitpick, but I think it's a G28.
oh, so he's like Steph, and like
Yes, yeah,
even by my liberal standards, he hates money.
yeah,
Sick, like,
yeah. And
yeah,
I think we have
outstanding.
at least one more G28 coming, which is absolutely banana sandwich.
I
But
mean, our forum folks have good taste. I'm here for it.
yes, and apparently they're made of money. So
Hey man, um, I get a kick out of I keep sort of going back to it, which is awkward because of the placement, but whatever. The little roll of electrical tape,
yeah,
like just that is one of those like, yeah, that's a useful thing.
absolutely
Just
right. Yeah,
um, but yeah, no, I really like it. I Yeah, this feels
yeah,
very like lightweight and very very effective. I
absolutely.
think probably he'd be just as hard to find, um, which makes me slightly afraid given the G28.
Yeah, yeah, for
Like,
sure.
I don't know why. I
No,
prefer my opponents to be easy to find when they have stuff like that.
yeah, especially when you're the one shooting at them. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
absolutely. Yeah, so
He does not
that's
look
a
like he's making it easy for me.
yeah. We haven't been doing a great job at roasting people. Both of these kids have been
I
pretty.
mean, like,
Have
I don't
been
know if you like sorted these randomly, but like, both of these are kind of up both of our alley. Like, this is a
yeah.
style of kit that we do. Um,
And in fairness to both to Ambo and Ben, those guys are pretty squared away in general. So I think it's
yeah, yeah. I
you
mean,
know it's kind of
I
it's if we're really gonna roast someone, I mean especially in this case, like when you've got your kit so squared away, it's like okay, this is actually cool. Like I could see myself wanting to run a kit similar to that. It's kind of hard to be
yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna
like,
roast the shit out of
there's not a
this,
lot to
right?
make fun of here, other than, and like,
Yeah,
like I kind of want to tease him about the quad, but like, too many of my like cousins will just come beat me for it. Not that they
yeah,
listen to our podcast, but like, I feel like they'll be spiritually offended.
definitely. So, well,
Just
shout out to
Newfoundland
Ben.
things,
We'll move on.
man. Yeah.
Um, Now we've got Bryce. Bryce is one of our Discord members. So he, in this picture, I'm not sure if it's an actual impression kit, but it's definitely a Bundeswehr. And I know my pronunciation is horrid. I'm sorry, Ambo and Josh. But a German Bundeswehr inspired sort of kit.
Yeah, definitely that vibe. Is
Yeah.
that an MG?
It
Like,
is. It is an MG42
okay, yeah,
that
not going
he
crazy. That's
made to
good.
be an MG3, basically.
I mean,
And so, yeah, so he's got in this picture, he's
like, are
wearing
all of these people just like not fans of having money or fabulously wealthy? Is that
clearly, yeah,
Jesus?
just yeah. And so the pants that he's wearing or the trousers that he's wearing are Tropentarn, and or like Wustentarn, I think is another name for them. And then he's got, of course, Flecktarn.
I like to
On
know.
the
I like knowing that the German military has provided the mustard to go with the Canadian military's relish.
yeah.
Um,
This is their arid camouflage pattern.
Bring me some ketchup and we'll
Yeah.
have a burger. It's good. No, seriously though, like I really like this. I feel like um, the patches would stand out. Like I feel like that patch in the middle
Yeah,
of
I
his
was thinking the
chest
same
is like
thing.
a thing. I'd just be like, oh yeah, I can see a name at that. Um,
Hmm.
and I'm curious if he's found that or like if he just wants to rep the colors and therefore doesn't care. I'm like totally respect that if you do. That's not a criticism of the flag or anything. Just like a
Definitely.
very brightly colored.
And I think
Um,
that Bryce has gone through a lot of trouble, if I'm not, unless I'm very much mistaken, to source like the right chest rig, plate carrier, whatever it's set up he has here. It looks like there's some sort of, if we zoom in to here on the picture, it looks like he has some sort of like plate carrier underneath that has clips so it could
oh yeah,
accept a placard. I
cool.
think that's either a reproduction or similar from what they use
But
in the
definitely doing
German
the
armed forces.
definitely doing the impression kit. Then that's sick.
Yeah.
Really like the helmet.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that he has on that's not part of the impression, I think, is he's wearing like USGI like waffle layers for like obviously this is a cold weather day, so he's wearing this
I
outer
mean,
layer,
being
and
cozy is
underneath
good.
like yeah, the snivel gear is all USGI based on what he was telling me. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I think this looks great. I don't know why you would not get like a pattern top instead of getting like a flat color if you're going for this route, but.
Um, my question, I guess, would be like, is he going for kind of like a specific unit or like
Yeah, it's a good question.
because it has that
You'd
sort
have
of
to go on
like
the Discord and ask him, Pat.
yeah, no, I mean I could do that. It has that more of like what I think of as an operator vibe more so than like line infantry.
Yeah.
Um,
Although he does have a machine gun, so who knows?
oh yeah, but yeah, no. Always envious of people who can actually rock helmets because my head is enormous and no repro will fit it.
That's true. Yeah.
Every now and then I find myself looking at a like a Team Wendy and go, no, Pat, no.
Yeah. I always find it funny when you have people who wear like Peltors and they don't have them plugged into anything. And it's like, okay, so you're just wearing them for amplification. You can probably get something much cheaper. But that's, again,
Well, I mean,
I
like,
guess if you're
I also,
rocking a huge like MG42, you probably don't care too much about that.
and I mean, like, I also absolutely hate getting shot in the ear. So, like,
Yeah.
there is that like feature. He's got a radio there though. So, like, is he just maybe just doesn't have it plugged in at the moment?
Or it might not be the right kind of plug for the
Yeah,
headset
that's
or
true.
whatever.
They
He did
definitely
submit a
sell
second
adapters.
picture, so we'll take a look at this one.
Just like
And there it is.
just G28s all day today. All right. Like
Yeah.
that's righteous, my man. Love the Flecktarn. I bought a Flecktarn jacket at the end of the season and didn't get to wear it for anything because scheduling and just it got really cold really quickly this year.
Mhm. Flecktarn goes hard. It's a fantastic. I mean, we
But
talked about it many times. Like, especially for our environment, like it's a really great camo pattern. It's very, very effective.
it's super effective. It looks good. Yeah, no, like HPA G30 G.
I was gonna say like it's bad enough that it's a G28, which is like $1 million, and then he decided to put an HP engine, which is even more expensive.
Man, do you know what engine he's running?
I don't
That's a
know.
Wolverine.
What's that?
It's a Wolverine.
Is it a Wolverine?
Yeah, I can see it in the bolt port. I think. Zoom me in
Yeah.
just for fun. I want to see if I can get that right. Maybe not. That might actually be the bolt.
I don't know if he
But,
said if he actually told me what.
But yeah, like super slick.
Was.
This
Yeah.
feels a little. I mean, I guess this is also kind of in some ways operator because of the rifle. But
It's a Polar Star F2.
oh, okay, cool. So yeah, they make a green one, don't they?
Yeah. So anyway, very expensive replica, but it
Yes.
looks awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
And
This is like my kind of bad life choices. um, like, yeah, love it. Love the
Mhm.
look. It's also a really good photo. Like whoever took this did a good job framing it.
Yeah. So speaking of
Um,
bad life choices, here we have Flub.
uh,
um,
so
so he's from
we've
France.
gone from very tucked in to not tucked in at all.
Yeah.
And like also a look.
So
Um,
let's hear it. What's your first thoughts on this?
I kind of want to ruffle his Muppet hair. And
Yeah.
like again, that is obviously like effective. Um, it's just that especially zoomed out, where it's so like thick and noodly, and you've got the angled faceplate. It feels very like Muppets do Spec Ops.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and I love it. Like it's rad. Just like the idea of I now want to see like what the Muppet guys would do if they were doing a guy in like operator kit. Um, we have a pretty long MP5
Yeah, with an LPVO on it. And this is the one when we had done this
and
previously, where
HDA
we had
line.
done rate the replica. I had totally not even seen the suppressor on the front of it. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, there's what? Oh, yeah. No
Yeah.
HPAs. That's a Kythera. Love it. Love it. Love it. Mm.
Yeah.
And an AAP on the belt, or on the not really on the belt, under the arm.
Under the arm.
Um,
He's got a radio down there as well with his PTT and all that stuff,
yeah, yeah.
which
So like,
looks to be like one of the not the Peltors, but the ones that I ran for one season. What were they called? Do you remember what they
I
were?
don't remember what they're called. But
Earmore, like
yeah, yeah,
M32 Earmore, I think
yeah, yeah.
they
And it's
were.
got a
Yeah.
nice big button for it, so that's easy to actuate. I run mine a little higher up. I'm just curious if you find that comfortable. What's the
And
what's the camo?
didn't even blouse his shirt, like didn't tuck it into his
Oh yeah,
pants,
I mean,
like
like I
just
said,
like
it's very
soup sandwich.
very untidy, but like I can dig it. Um, how many mags is
I
he
think he
carrying?
gave us a second
He
angle
doesn't
as
seem to
well.
be carrying. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm right. He's not carrying a lot of mags for that MP5.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, if it's a short game, who cares?
Yeah, really. I
He's
mean, it's
also
all
got
about.
he's also got the side fold stock, so he's got the really long MP5 with a side fold stock. All right, cool.
Yeah,
And a sticker, like the sticker. Carry on.
yeah, I mean, that's all good.
Like,
Like, yeah, but I agree. It's like, I mean, if you're gonna have a full, like a long MP5, you're gonna be doing the LPVO thing. I don't know why you necessarily would want that folding stock. You probably get a solid one, right?
I mean, like, I'll give him. It looks cool, so like, why not?
I suppose, yeah.
I do love the rails on it, though. That's
Yeah, and I mean, he's got it all situated. He's got it slinged up, and it looks like a 1 point sling on there, which
oh yeah. I mean,
is
that's great
for a
frame.
short replica like that makes a lot of sense.
Great
Like
for an
I don't,
MP5.
I did that for years.
It doesn't weigh much either, right?
Mhm.
Comparatively, go buy a Magpul MOE grip, please.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you why I hate those, but I absolutely can't stand them. Like there are
The little
two.
shorty stubby grips.
It's this specifically. Like I run a stubby Magpul one, but I
Mhm.
want that like oval. I don't like the round ones. It in fairness might be that I have giant bear paws. Like,
I'd say that's probably a big part of it. Yeah.
but yeah, even the Repro Magpul grips, they're not super expensive and they're very nice. I'm envious of the AAP. You guys,
Yeah.
like the Discord has completely sold me on wanting one of those.
Yeah. It's so. I was just looking like because I had noticed the sidearm initially and I just sort of glossed over and then I looked at it and it's like it's so noticeable, right? It's like so unique looking. As soon as you see it, you're like, oh yeah, it's an AAP, right?
Yeah, and I'm guessing so he's got tape on both of them, so I'm guessing the yellow and the blue tape are probably chrono marks. Would be my hypothetical.
Be a good question to ask
or
him,
like
yeah.
I'm going to put yellow tape on this so that if I drop it, I don't misplace it. That also makes some sense to me.
And I mean, I want to come back to the scrim because I think we we often talk about how important it is to have the right scrim on your helmet and all this kind of stuff, and like, admittedly, this one looks a little weird. Just it looks like worms basically. But at the same time, like, I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean it's not effective.
I
And
mean, it's
at the end of
definitely
the day, if it's effective and if it looks stupid and it works, then it's not stupid.
yeah.
Right?
I mean, like I definitely don't feel like I'm like the head doesn't look like a head. It looks like some sort of weird like again, bird creature / plant monster.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how well that blends in. Like, I'd love a shot of him, like, just like same place, prone 20 feet back to see. It's like, can we see him in there?
Yeah.
Just from a curiosity point of view. But like,
You really got to tuck your shirt into your pants, man. You really got to do that. That completes the
I
look.
love how annoyed Phil is by that. But like, in fairness,
Listen,
it's also
I
look,
mean,
it's the
you
first
know
thing I
what?
commented on too.
It's just like, yeah. Anyways, I'll leave it. But you really, you gotta tuck your shirt in your pants. Like, that's just crazy. There's a grooming standard around here. Okay, what can I say? This one is submitted by our fellow Canadian Fuger Meer. He's one of Zippy's.
I thought that was Kirby.
Communities. Yeah. So initial thoughts about this one. He sent a couple. They're all roughly of the same kit, but this is the main one.
Very operator like.
Yep.
I'm gonna shoot you in the hat all the time.
Are you?
Like, I feel like I'm going to just not like. I feel like I'm going to see that hat and shoot you in it. But like, that could be hubris on my part. It is a cool hat. I just feel like it's, I don't know, anything like white, center of head that I can see from 30, 50, 100 feet away is going to be a problem for you. But like, I like it. I feel like if you're moving like hard, pushing hard, you need to be pushing hard in this kit. Like, this needs to be getting up close and removing people from your path for it to be effective. But I like the look.
It's funny that you bring up the hat, because there's he actually told me a story specifically about this hat, which is that the hat, his brother got it for him from the official Tarkov store.
Oh, okay.
But
cool.
After he ordered it, the war in Ukraine broke out, and because of the sanctions, they and the merch is made. It's made by a Russian developer, and it's made in Russia. So when the hat showed up, because of all these sanctions, he ended up having to pay $100 and something in duty.
Jesus.
So the hat works out to be $130 baseball hat.
Oof. Like.
So yeah, you're gonna shoot him right in the $130 hat.
I guess I am. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna go back on it now.
Yeah. I don't think I think he's wearing the Shadow strategic pants. I think these are the same ones that I wear, or they could be the Emerson variety or something, but they look similar to the ones that I have as well. I also
dig the Christmas lights. It's good.
Yeah. You'll send this one.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Like, I can't rate this one.
This is the content that I'm here for. Like the airsoft stuff, whatever. Show me pictures of your dog. Like, let's go.
We can't rate this one badly. Like,
no, this is straight to S tier. Like, absolutely.
That is one of the John Wick specials. Pistol? Question mark?
He said it's a KWA USP match.
Yep. As Phil zooms in. Nope, wrong gun.
And his the main replica was a TM MWS.
Okay, definitely. Like, I mean, if I hadn't just been told about the Tarkov, I'd still have some idea of what kind of games you play.
Yeah. I always find it really funny though when I see people with their plate carriers with the pouches closed like that, and I'm always thinking, like, you're never going to be in a hurry to get a mag out, right?
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, honestly, if I'm offering advice unsolicited, but here we are, like, get some pouches that are permanently open and taco. They're just better.
Yeah, I think you're going to have some more of that kind of advice to give in some of the later ones that we look at.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm 99% sure those came with the vest. I'm like, they're completely serviceable. It's just you'll find the other ones better once you get into it. That looks like you can also take an insert. Oh man, no.
There he is,
just looking at you judgmentally. Good boy.
While you're huffing your propane.
Oof.
Yeah. His kit is so clean. It looks like it's never been used. Like, do you notice that? Like, none of the pouches, like...
I definitely... Like,
yeah,
the
nice socks, bro.
The pants definitely have been worn and, like, gamed.
Yeah.
The carrier and stuff looks like he does not spend nearly enough time, like, rolling around in the mud or bumping up against
obviously, he spends
crud.
All his time huffing propane, right?
I mean, fair,
clearly.
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, like... I'm pretty sure some of our gear would be a lot cleaner if, like, we didn't play on a field with paintball crap all over it.
That's very true, yeah. Although it wasn't particularly clean when we played at Red Cliff either. So.
I mean, that's true. Yours more so than mine, because boy, does Phil love being a muddy boy.
Yeah, and like also falling and rolling down hills and stuff like that.
I thought that was just part of the muddy boy aspect.
Yeah. This next one, this guy would not stop harassing me to rate his kit. So here we are. Like literally 50 million Discord messages. Phil, rate my kit, rate my kit. Anyway, so this is Jordan at, I think, the prison game earlier this year.
The bars on the windows were hit.
Yeah. So what do you think, Pat? Let's hear it.
This looks like your kit from like 8 years ago.
How dare you?
I mean, I feel like you would have tucked in the top.
Yeah, you're fucking right.
And the dump pouch is in the
you're absolutely right. I would.
And the dump pouch is in the wrong place. But like, you know, this is, you know, kit either of us probably could have been convinced to rock at one point. You know, like the aim point, paint the rifle, and again paint the rifle, and a third time paint the rifle. Phil's convinced me on this one.
Yeah.
The light and laser, is that running? I'm trying to figure out if that peck is a battery box or not.
No, it's a real peck because he's got nods on.
Oh yeah, Jesus.
Yeah.
No. I'm
try-hard guy running nods in the middle of the day.
I'm too used to thinking of those as like cosmetic. Like most of the ones I'd ever see in Canada, I think really are like either the like this came with my Call of Duty game and best of luck seeing in the dark with it, or they're literally just a plastic casing. So I'm not used to thinking of that as like a tool people actually have. Full disclosure. I feel the same about his mag pouches as I did about the last guys. You were right about that being a thing that was going to be consistent.
I love how he's got his replica at a low ready. He's not actually engaging something, but his finger is right in that mag well, just ready to like negligently discharge at whatever's in front.
There's a little bit of trigger discipline joke to be made there. What are the patches? Storm Rider 4 in Legion, so like gotta love that.
Yeah, and the other one is the cat stabby Braveheart one.
Oh, okay.
Theme. Yeah. Or not Braveheart, excuse me, Blackbeard.
Still good with it.
I don't know what he's carrying in that dump pouch. It looks super weighed down.
I was really curious too. Like, has he got a football in there? Like,
I mean, he's American, so it could be a football. Yeah, you're probably right about that.
You know, like,
and the Pit Vipers. I mean, like the goggles, they're like Pit Viper shades, but they don't have a cool hue. They're just like orange. Like neon orange, so you can get seen better in your camo.
Yeah, definitely.
And, at least he's got a gasket though. That's
I definitely
nice.
Don't feel like I'll have trouble, you know, finding him if he's, you know, hiding in the bushes because of that. But like, he's also got some sort of hunter orange thing on his back, and like, maybe some of that's field stuff, or maybe the hunter orange thing on his back is just like, you know, team identification thing from the back. I don't know.
It could be.
A field
I know there's another one that he sent here, and you can kind of see it. I do think it's probably some sort of like IFF. You can really see how his like
those
stupid like orange Pit Vipers right in the front
pop
there. Like,
pretty hard, bro. Like, and I don't mean to be hating on them, but they're definitely very visible. Now that being said, to be like,
no, this is Jordan. You're supposed to be hating.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah. You know, I don't think he has like as much stuff in the dump pouch in this one. I gotta ask positionally, because like I run my dump pouch on my back, and like sometimes I sit down on a dump pouch full of mags, and that's not comfortable. But I feel like if I ran it there, I'd smack myself in the balls with it. Like,
it's actually offset from center.
Maybe he's less clumsy than I am.
Well, I mean okay. Well, you're not setting the bar very high for one thing.
It's true.
So actually, in all jokes aside, I've been consulting with Glick on the FLC as well.
I see the correct sling though.
Yes, the slingster. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, coming back to your dump pouch thing, it's offset on the center. It's not in the middle, so it's closer to like the front of your left thigh.
Okay, so that's
something
not as
I'm going to be
uncomfortable
trying
as I was
next
thinking
season.
It was.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Got a radio on the back.
You know, joking aside with Glick's kit, it's very squared away.
Oh yeah, no, like this is aside from the only thing about this that I don't think is probably super practical is the orange band there, and like at the same time, you know, if you've got it, like, you know, don't buy new ones because of that probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless you are you're super well healed.
And this is one that he also sent me, and like
the eyes. Sorry.
The thing, I thought this picture was so cool. Like as soon as I saw this picture, it gave me sort of, you know, like someone just stepped off a plane coming home from the sandbox kind of situation. You're coming back from a sortie or something. Like, it looks very legit.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I
everything
still,
is well put together. Like, I mean, the photo's a little grainy or whatever, but like, it's very well put together. This is from the absolute same event. It's just the night, the night portion or whatever,
yeah. I'm
right?
still like a little iffy on the closed mag pouches thing, but like that again, like depending on where you're running stuff and like what's on the go, it's possible that it's just like, yeah, if I have it open, I'm going to lose shit.
Yeah.
Didn't realize or couldn't tell this from the earlier picture, I think, but props on the foregrip being one of the ones I don't hate.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, he was gripping him in all the other ones,
Yeah,
so you
yeah,
couldn't tell,
exactly
but
right.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
And trigger finger nice and straight, not in that mag well. It's so great. Now that there's no mag in there and it's almost unimportant, well done.
I mean, in
So
fairness,
yeah.
like he could have, for all we know, the first one was an action shot, and he was actually about to be shooting at someone.
Yeah, I choose to believe that that's not the
Fair
case.
enough. Phil has no kindness for this one.
Yeah, no,
But
absolutely
like,
not.
yeah, no, I dig it. This looks really like super badass.
Yeah. So this next one was
Also,
sent to me by Huck. She sent me about 65 pictures to rate, so completely Delulu, not happening. I picked two. So this one in particular, what's interesting, well, we could talk about the replica, but in particular, the rail itself. So this part here,
yeah, that's
she
neat.
3D printed and designed that herself.
That's cool. So you're getting your peck or weapon light, whichever that is, up off of. Oh, it's definitely a peck because there's a bloody light
Yeah.
on the stock on the foregrip there. But yeah, getting that up above the sights and getting your optic up above the sights. That's really cool. Like, just having the technical skill to like design that is rad. And I love a classic MP5. Like,
I was just gonna say the same thing. I do love the classic look of the MP5, especially the flashlight handguard.
yeah, this is one of those like that handful of guns that I'm like, no, don't paint it. Like,
Yeah,
keep
like it's
those
just a
cool.
perfect. Yeah,
Keep
and
that look.
it's really awesome to see when people sort of have the wherewithal, the resourcefulness to like find or create the perfect part that fits the kit like perfectly and does exactly what you need to ensure you take the time to invest in like a high quality solution to fix the problem that you have, which you can see she absolutely applied in the second picture that she submitted to us of her sight protector.
I mean,
The duality of man.
this is definitely a dichotomy with that first one. But like at the same time, I guess if it ain't broke, or I guess
I mean, this
in this
is
case,
literally 5 seconds away from being broke. What are you?
About to say, or
It's
in
being
this case,
held by I don't know what animal this is. I guess it's a fox. It's being held by
it's a Shiba. I think it's a Shiba Inu.
A Shiba. Yes, you're
Yeah.
probably right. Yeah, yeah. So yeah. No, I was like, oh my god.
No, it's. I mean, like this is. I definitely feel like we know which of the two gets they like better. Like, there is a favored child.
No question. And as a last bonus picture here, the award for sweaty LARPerators of the year goes to these guys.
Oh wow! Like,
so this is Huck, Andy, and Colin Zenithor.
12 out of 10 buys. Like,
yeah, I mean, could they try any harder?
I'm not sure they could.
No,
I'm seeing a pattern on the on that cat patch though. And again, like no criticism. Yeah, this is a lot more how I want to run a chest rig in terms of like layout of mags and the kinds of pouches they're using.
Mm-hmm.
I think justifiably people who were running the other ones could look at me and go, yeah, well, those cost like 4 times as much, and be right. Like,
yeah, it's but I just wanted to poke a bit of fun at this one because it's like, the blacked out faces, which I always, when I've seen that in airsoft, I'm like, oh guys, why?
Yeah,
it's like
that's a little cheesy, but also like, I get it. I understand what you're going for. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, let's say that. Yeah.
The names need XXX Huck XXX etc. Like,
Yeah, exactly. And I
But
mean, it's good. I mean, their location is blurred out, and the op is called Fractured Skull, which is kind of what I wanted to do to myself when I saw this picture. So I mean, it all works out.
but yeah. The guns are cute. Guns are definitely cool. I feel like that MP5 in the front, that optic is really high.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, based on the rest of this kit, I'm halfway inclined to assume he's got it figured out and that it works fine that way. It just feels
I think
pretty
that's
high.
Huck actually. So she, but
She,
yes,
sorry, I can't see eyes, can't see face, can't see body,
it's
can't
true.
see legs.
Yeah, did it to yourself, bud. What can
Like,
we say, right? Yeah.
I should have known because that is the same MP5 previously. I just don't think I'd realized how high the optic was. But I also don't think I care. Like, I'm willing to assume it's dialed in.
Well, with her, anything's possible,
Nah.
but you're probably correct.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like you don't put in like the time to design that crazy riser and not have some idea of like what you're doing and why.
May I remind you the Shiba Inu tape?
Look, don't be hating.
All right, we'll move on here. This one's submitted by Lawnmower Joe or Hammock Joe or Plonking Joe. I'm not sure, but it's Joe from France.
You stole Karu's camo. He's gonna want it back.
Yeah, it's so the suit is a KLM, so it's a summer masking suit made by SSO, and then he sort of Frankensteined a Smirsh from an older harness and stuff like that, and his precision replica, which I think he submitted for the actual rating.
I remember that guy because it's just not a like conventional piece of kit, and it's neat.
Yeah. So this is another picture that he submitted as well.
Okay, so I definitely feel like the face piece is too white for the terrain he's in, but like I could be wrong about that. Definitely, like this gives, and I mean the replica's kind of doing this, like, so I assume it's an intentional vibe, but this gives very like Russian bad guy in video game from the like 2000s, early 2000s vibes to me in like the best way.
Agree. Yeah. Yeah. It's a really, I think the camo seems very effective. Like I look at this picture here that he submitted, and like it is like there's lots of stuff that at first glance I didn't even notice. Like I didn't notice, which I assume is a water bottle here on the back of his,
definitely
on the
like
back of his kit. Like
I feel like
really, I think is doing a good job.
Yeah, I feel like if he's in the sunlight, it's gonna not blend him in as well as if he's in sort of like any of the shadowier parts. But yeah, I feel like it works. Feels like a super low drag kit too. Like he's definitely doing recce kind of stuff, or doing, not shooting a ton. But I mean, I would hazard a guess that he doesn't need to shoot a ton to hit what he's shooting with that replica.
Yeah, one would hope. On the flip side, he has, there's so much retention on this kit. He could be carrying a lot more stuff as well, right? Like on the back, you can see like all the different harness points and stuff.
Space for more. I don't know if it's
yeah.
I'm assuming it's a conscious choice. But
yeah, we don't have a front-on pick, so it's kind of hard to know. But based on his prone position, I would also assume he's probably not running a lot on his front either.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm actually really quite impressed with the white in this camo. I initially, like, if I'd seen just a picture of the camo, let's say like on a white backdrop or neutral backdrop or whatever, I would have been like, I don't think that's going to be very effective. But seeing it in situ like that,
clearly working into that ground cover or whatever that is.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we've got another one that you're gonna like. So, no, sorry. Before we go to the one that you're gonna definitely like, this is Josh. So I ripped this from the Discord. He did not submit this, but I thought it was cool. What's important here in particular is what he's done to the front of his rifle here with bungee cord.
Yeah, that's for scrim, I would guess.
Yeah, so this is his solution for foliage or scrim retention. And basically, he wanted to figure out a way that he could put scrim on his replica, but also just keep it low profile when it wasn't being used, like when he didn't need to have scrim. And I thought that was a really clever way. Now he's got these round holes in his heat shield, but you could do this with like even like a regular like Daniel defense rail or something like that.
Totally. I could have done that with, and I guess I could still arguably do that with even the M27. Like,
yeah, and so I wanted to give it a shout out, even though, like I said, he didn't submit it, because I mean, there's lots of stuff on this that's a bit roast roady, but we don't have to get into that. But this I thought was clever, and I was like, you know what? That's actually worth sharing. Like, it's an idea worth sharing, I think, because some people might be in a situation where they want to scrim their replica, but maybe they're not able to do that in a way that's efficient for them, and that might be a good solution. So a
Yeah,
little bit
yeah,
of a bonus pick for everyone there.
yeah. No, that seems like that is a clever solution to that problem.
So the actual one you're going to like is this one. So it's a 416. Pat, take it away.
Yeah, that is spiffy. No, I mean, no notes. Like 416 has gotten rid of the 416 stock because it's huge. I assume. Like, if I had to guess for a reason for that to go away, I'm a little envious of your rail setup. I know how much those cost, and I shouldn't. Curious what this thing on the front is. Like, is that a light?
Yeah, it's a good question. It could certainly be a light of some sort.
Like, yeah, unsure what that is, but interested to find out. Running the hand stop, so that's a little more your speed. I do tend to run the foregrip, but like, again,
But it's also very short is the other thing on this one.
yeah,
Like, I think you can probably get away with a shorter one,
yep.
or like a hand stop situation because it's
That's
because
true.
it's
Yeah,
so
like
short,
there's
right?
no,
Yeah.
there's not that much weight out there.
And yeah, that is a light on the other side of the 416.
Cool. Yeah, that's beautiful.
He also submitted some kit picks that are very derivative. It's like, oh look, another Bundeswehr kit.
I mean,
Yeah.
On the other hand,
And
if it ain't broke,
yeah, I think similar to Bryce, I don't know if this is an actual impression kit, or if it's just sort of like inspired by. Certainly very inspired by, but
yeah,
it has a lot of the right moving pieces. Again, with the dump pouch, that's obviously been very used. Like, it's carrying a bunch of stuff. It's holding on for dear life by the looks of it.
yeah. I mean, and it's interesting because like he's got all of his pouches that we can see full. So like, is there? I actually kind of think from the silhouette he might have an Odin in there just for like.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good
Has that
good
tucked
guess.
in there for the moment.
Yeah. You can see that illuminator on the front
there
there,
we
whatever
go.
it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
that is visually different. Like I haven't seen that. Whatever that is, I haven't seen it before, but it looks cute.
And he's got the NVG mount on his helmet, right? So that would be
continuing to have the cool toys for sure.
Yeah,
looks very intense too. Like whatever's going on off that away, he is focused on it. Has a slightly more muted German flag on the front, so I don't feel quite as much like I'm going to see that and pull the trigger every time it moves.
Yeah.
Which is probably good. I think the smaller one's probably not as big a deal.
And he's got the similar style of like plate carrier with those quick detached clips that you see all the time now.
That is clearly like matching to the same vibe.
Yeah.
Coyote gloves. That's a lock. Nice. I know you don't like them, but I do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, no, that looks like very, very right and tight.
And you can see he's got
a different stock on the 416 too. That's an A5 stock. Which makes
and he's running his sling right through the.
Yeah, that makes me even
right
happier.
through it.
I do not have, but love the A5 stocks.
But it's a 2-point sling. My man's running a 2-point sling, so I mean, you can't be too upset at him. He's got a camera here as well. I don't know if you noticed this, but it's a camera with it's on looks like it's an articulated mount.
Oh, that's cool.
And he's got a light on like a white light on the side of his helmet there as well.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. So he's got like a little reading lighter, Yeah.
All in all, though, I think this is
very dialed in.
Great looking. Very dialed in. It's a great looking kit. And again, Flecktarn, is one of my favorites. So I love to see it.
Looks good, works well, 10 out of 10. No, I love this. Yeah.
And then
I do want to know. Do want to know if that's an Odin.
Maybe I spoke too soon on my award for sweaty LARPerator of the year. I think we've got another good contender here. Trying really hard. Glick is back. I think that's just from the same event, obviously, that we saw previously.
I dig this. That is an interesting shorty M4 in there too, in the middle. Oh, it's the M4 that takes stick mags. Cool. I can't remember what those are called.
Oh, and there's that screen protector taped on, which apparently survived however long it took. So
evidently not stupid because working. Like,
Yeah, clearly so.
you know,
Yeah.
definitely not going to give it the most aesthetically pleasing of the day. Oh, hey, the this dude on the right was in the other picture at night because I recognize again because I'm a lunatic. I saw the stock and was like, oh, that's a neat stock, and
Mhm.
it has
Yeah.
returned. And he has a much more camouflaged, much more subdued German.
On the front. Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
it's working, and he's got that cold weather layer as well that he's wearing.
yeah.
That
The right eye, from our point of view, looks like he's seeing beyond space and time. I
yes,
assume
yeah.
because he's focused out of the NVG or something. But like,
Well, because it's probably dark, so his pupil is like dilated all the way
yep,
to let in as much light as possible.
totally, just funny.
Yeah,
But yeah, like I like this. This is good. Um,
and now we have a few series from one of our British Discord members, Lucifer Stedman. So this is his Evolution Airsoft receiver that he's basically completely like changed. It's a Kythera, and it's like Geistly rail, the whole shebang, right?
yeah, yeah. Um, Definitely going for a like the rail definitely has a like ruggedized like I've beaten this up feel.
Yeah.
Um, so switch for the pack. Yeah, are those offset sights or are they? No,
No, it
they're
looks
okay.
like
They're
they're
on the
they're
rail.
mounted right
Okay,
on the
cool. So they're
middle.
just co
Yeah,
witness. That's
yeah.
nice though. Yeah, I like it. Um, not sure why the um, red zip tie on the stock. Also, please tell me that's like not a knockoff sling. I hope it's not a knockoff sling. I've seen too many of those break with
That's
an expensive gun on them.
that's a good question. I don't know. I agree.
Um,
I used to have one of these, and the metal actually completely just bent out of shape.
yeah,
But I mean, I was pretty hard on it, but still, yeah,
yeah. Phil, I mean, you're definitely on the harder on your gear side
yeah.
of your soft players for sure. But like, yeah, no, I dig it. It's not what I'd run style wise, but I dig it.
This is his like civilian inspired kit, obviously. Uh, so like same like that Tarkov block thing you saw in the other
I'm
one.
getting a pattern here, yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean, we have folks locally doing Tarkov stuff, so
yeah. I like props to the for the Howard Light impacts. Those
yeah, yeah.
are fantastic.
I
Yeah,
there are a bunch of photos with us wearing them. Why the
yeah,
orange lens is a definite question.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of like the same sort of reason why I used to wear those yellow
Okay,
lenses
so
all
it's
the
doing
time.
the high def thing. All right, cool, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
What
It just
is
depends
this
on the
replica?
environment that you're in. What's more effective.
What is
Yeah.
this replica?
So the replica, I think he sent a picture of the monstrosity in this next one. There it
Oh,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's his dedicated CQB tool. So it's an Ares Amoeba CCP. He put a CQB stock on it. It's got a mini grenade launcher, a micro dot sight, a mini tracer, and yeah. So
This is
it's
definitely a vibe, but definitely looks odd.
yeah.
Like,
Like
don't hate it.
I,
Just looks odd.
you absolutely have to magwell grip that thing. Like you can't put it anywhere else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, if you told me that the other side had like on the side rail a like side grip so you could just go dirk dirk dirk, I would not be, you know, completely shocked, just from the aesthetic. But
Mm.
I mean, at the same time, like you're gonna want to magwell grip it so that you can set off the little tiny grenade launcher too. Um, you know, this is yeah.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I don't want to own it. I think it's weird looking, but I don't hate it.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. I don't hate it. I wouldn't want to own
Like,
it. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, and it's that's saying a lot coming from you because this is a small gun, and we know just how much
yeah,
you
I
love
mean
small
that's
guns,
fair.
right?
That's fair. I do have to give it the bonus points for being minuscule and having a grenade launcher.
Yeah, I'd never seen such a small grenade launcher either. But I
Yeah,
mean,
those are neat.
if it
They're not a
works,
thing I've ever like wanted to pick up.
hmm
I like my grenade launchers cosplay is really the honest answer. Like I make my choices
yeah,
about them a lot more about look than I do about practicality.
yeah. Next up, we have these. So this is really funny. Matt sent these in. These are his trail runners. They're Saucony Peregrines. And I know that because I'm a nerd. I have no expectation that you would know that or anybody else except for Matt.
I like the colors.
Um,
It's a good color palette.
this is actually part of his airsoft kit. It's a huge upgrade for him. going from, whatever shoes he was wearing previously to wearing trail runners. There's a few people, myself included now, who are wearing trail runners to play airsoft. And for a lot of the fields that we play on, for a lot of the airsoft that we play on, having trail runners is actually a great option. Like, you can see how aggressive the tread is on these kinds of shoes.
Yeah,
It's basically like wearing cleats, right?
I mean, like, I feel like these are, in that way, they're an upgrade from the hiking boots that I run.
Yeah.
Like, the less ankle support might concern me a little, but like, I also am more prone to rolling my ankles than some people.
Yeah, and there's a lot of debunked science about like low ankle shoes and ankle rolling and stuff like that too, especially when it comes to these kinds of shoes. But there's one thing for sure is if you see someone come to your airsoft field wearing like neon green shoes, he's not afraid of anything.
I don't think Matt's afraid of much anyway.
No, and I mean, look at this guy.
You, but
like
that's wicked.
this is like, I want to throw a couple pictures of him just because he looks so fly. Matt is just like, this is how Matt plays, and like it's the perfect way for him to play.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and like, summer hat, like, who cares? You don't need to wear a helmet. I think the only time I saw him not wearing his hat at Iron Horse was when he was wearing a GoPro for like 20 minutes, and then he ditched it and put his hat back on. You know what I mean?
Man, like, we talk a lot about playing however you're comfortable and like using gear that you find effective. And either Matt figured that out before he started listening to us, or he listened real good.
Yeah.
Or both. But like, this is definitely a very unique aesthetic, and like, not one everyone's going to go for, obviously. Practically, I think the bright red shirt, like, I mean, if I were playing games where I really care about camo and concealment, is a problem. But at the same time, like, we've talked about this, a bunch this season, like, tossing your civilian gear on and like shooting at people in a blue t-shirt really didn't hurt you that much in some contexts.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like Matt has a very justifiable argument that, depending on context, why bother?
Exactly. Especially when you're running like civilian kit, like we were at Iron Horse, like, there's literally no reason not to, right?
Yep. I both like the hat and the big smile, I gotta say.
Yep.
Feels very friendly.
Absolutely.
We had a weird bird earlier, and now we've got a weird lizard monster. It's good. Matt, you are our Trandoshan. Congratulations. That's a Star Wars reference for those of you who aren't nerds, as if we had any listeners who aren't nerds. That being said, like, the belt kit and the AAP is super slick. Like, that is as low drag as I think airsoft gear comes. He's clearly got, some stuff on the go in his big black pouch on his butt. But I'm guessing that's just the like practical carry. Like,
actually, I'm not even sure that's his practical carry. I think that might have been like game stuff. So I think that he runs his own kit slicker than that too. Like, that could have been a game item or something like that.
Okay, yeah, that's very believable to me. But yeah, like the AAP, a couple of M4 pouches for like a skirmish. This seems like a fantastic. Like, you could certainly wear that kit, run that kit for like most of a day at frontline with absolutely no impediment to your effectiveness.
Absolutely.
And you'd be stylish while you were at it.
This next picture I absolutely love. This is Nick.
this one guy right here is Nick.
Yeah. This is Nick from the last Milson West event that he attended.
So next to the guy who's surrendering.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts, Pat? Let's hear it.
Other than he looks weirdly like Kirby.
Yeah,
like,
kind of does. Yeah.
Again, like, this is sick Russian op 4. Like, I feel like these are the guys I want to be shooting at. And that's entirely just the movies that I watched when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
But like, that's a good AK. This is a really tidy Russian kit. He looks like he's been playing in the swamp. Very much, this is how Phil looks at the end of long games where there's a swamp too. So aces on that.
The thing that
I like
gets
that there
me
are two
about
RPKs on this team too. Like, this set of 6 guys.
Yeah. The thing for me is the lopsided helmet. The lopsided helmet is just so good.
It sells
because like, he manages to look totally squared away and like a complete soup sandwich at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Right? It's like Yeah, I've like everything on his kit like is obviously like very well thought out. He's wearing gaiters, like he's got, all his Rust 4 kit is what it needs to be, etc. And he's got the helmet with the right night vision and all this stuff for his, the right night vision mount at the very least, etc. And then his helmet is just
And
lopsided off to the
a
side.
crooked helmet and a little smile that says, "After this, I'm going to Waffle House."
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Like,
You're gonna go watch the shows at Waffle House.
And
then like the thing is
I
like
dig it.
so you've got like the again the duality of men, and Nick looking like this, not to say he's not looking good, but looking like a bit of a soup sandwich a little bit, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And then to like something like this where he looks like fully like dialed, ready to go.
I do not think you'd have an easy time convincing me that was the same person. Like,
right?
And it's cool because I kind of get you an airsoft who can do both, I guess. Like, I kind of like it. Can you pop back to the one with the arrow pointing at Nick? I gotta say, these two guys on the far right of this photo.
These guys over here?
Like, I dig the beard, and whatever this dude's rocking, like, I'm afraid of him.
Yeah, he's got like the 1,000-yard stare. I do not want to make fun of that
man. He is going to come to my house.
Yeah. So this picture of Nick was at Iron Horse. Chaz actually took this picture, and it looks just phenomenal.
So yeah, I was gonna say, like, this is a really well shot, well lit photo, and then you're like, yeah, Chaz took it. All right.
Yeah, and like we were just sitting around in the dark basically because he's wearing nods. I couldn't see anything basically, but Chaz took this with his phone, and it just like worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
And then I just wanted to shout this one out because like look at my guy with the lettuce coming out of his helmet right here. Like that's some hockey player stuff, and you love to see it.
A 416, yes. B,
yeah.
How does it feel to have hair?
Yeah, tell me about it.
What is this sorcery? But yeah, no, like that is very squared away.
Yeah, and so I just wanted to shout this because I love seeing the hair coming out the helmet. That's right, and of course he's like super squared away. And speaking of someone who does not have hair and is not looking squared away at all, what about this one? You make of this
not
one
lately, or is it like?
This is from like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, maybe 1 week ago.
New vest?
Yeah. So what are your thoughts? Like, I'm not telling you anything. Just hit me with stuff.
Confusing me. Very good. So like, I think we need to tighten that entire thing up so that it actually fits your torso. Oh no. Okay. It's the pouches that are big.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Mag pouches in mag pouches in the right places. They're the wrong mag pouches. Like, I'm not sure why especially why you've switched to the like Velcro closed ones. Again, unless it's sort of like a operational area kind of thing where you're like, no, I'm gonna lose shit if I don't button this down super securely.
I expected you to roast me way harder than this. Like, it looks like I'm wearing my dad's FLC. It's 3 sizes too big.
It does have that sort of like, this is friggin' huge kind of problem, done it. Can it tighten down? Like, is it just like you ordered one my size and got one my size?
It's one size fits all, baby.
I see.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I won't.
I'm pretty
belabor
sure,
the point.
I'm pretty sure that the is the big pouch on the side there mine. I feel like I had a pouch that had that like pattern of crap beaten out of it.
Certainly possible. I hauled it out from the studio. It absolutely could be.
Probably spare kit. But yeah, like, I do not love most of this. I find the mesh pouch interesting. Like, that's clearly sort of rocking what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Those are definitely fly mag pouches from like my Cyraz or yours, like that era of Cyraz living in our kit. Yeah. Like, if you can tighten it down and like put some actual pouches on it, it might work.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how it all works out, but yeah, I'm trying to macro kit for larger stuff.
Yeah, and like,
so we'll see what happens.
I don't hate it. I just think you want like the better pouches, especially. Oh my god, like, that's one of the huge radio pouches too, isn't it? That's for.
Oh yeah.
Like, and I mean, I doubt you're getting one of those.
I am not. Anyways, we won't belabor it. We'll go back to our community members. So speaking of wearing I mentioned that my FLC looks like it's my dad's. This is the airsoft dad, or one of the airsoft dads, I guess. This is Pick.
So
Sent a bunch of different photos.
very grand thumb.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's certainly one thing we could say about it.
Yeah. Hate the mustache. Sorry, man. Hate the mustache. Love the gat. No, this is again like that civilian or contractor vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, definitely continuing that angle. Do like the M14, gotta say. Like it's not a gun I'm gonna buy. It's not a gun I'm gonna rock. Mostly because taking them apart drives me crazy. But like this is a good photo. This looks cool as hell. Yeah, the belt kit is on point in it.
Yeah, pretty dialed. And this last one.
Oh man. Again, okay, so we're going for a little walk in the woods, are we? Yeah, no.
So I'll give you some context on this one. So he was telling me that in this pack that he carries, he basically carries a complete second gun, as well as like parts to do like maintenance and spare food and water and everything, so that if they're playing at his field and someone is in need of something, he can almost always provide it to prevent someone from basically having to go home or leave because they don't have what they need. And so when we were talking about like airsoft dads, like that's the mentality. It's like, well, I can take care of one other person if I absolutely need to.
And like,
right?
We both rocked stuff like that when we were up at Redcliffe. Like that was, when we had a longer walk to the field, that's definitely a thing we did. And I feel like in a current context, like we carry a lot of the shit you could possibly want to like kit out a player who has something go down, especially like as a team. So like mad props on that, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
Like
yeah.
I still carry a multi-tool and stuff, and like most of the function of a lot of the tools that I carry to airsoft is to tinker with other people's gear and like put motor leads back on and stuff.
Does this change anything you feel about his mustache?
No. No, I
all right, sorry, man. You heard it here first.
I am, in fairness, like grow the whole thing. This is my thing.
Yeah.
You can life me about my beard later. It's fine. Or I'll show you a picture of me shaved, and the entire community can throw up collectively, and then life me about it. But I do really like that shot. That is gemming.
Yeah, it's sick. Really, really good look. Now we have June, aka September, on the Discord. So she didn't have any updated pictures to send in. This is one from Iron Horse. But you know what? I'm okay with it, because what's not to love about this picture, right?
Man. Like, this one, I know she has smaller hands than I do, because we were talking about the grip earlier, and I know that if I put my hands on that grip, they're like
like all the way around. Yeah.
Just like, put my fingers on it, put my hand around it, and scratch my nose. Weird trigger style, but like whatever works for you, Holmes. That's a Kythera. Love it.
Yep.
Love
bipod on there because
LPVO.
AMS makes you do it. LPVO.
Okay, so this is DMR kind of setup for AMS.
Yeah.
Cool. Bonus points for that. All about a boonie.
She was doing work from this building. Well, from everywhere she was, but yeah.
The chest rig's really nice too. Like this is very squared away. I don't like, is this civvy kind of vibes for the shirt and hat, or is this meant to be like navy blue camo for something?
No, it's supposed to be black.
Oh, okay. Cool,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, which was technically for us, we could wear black or civilian.
Okay.
Because we could be SD if we wanted to,
right.
Or whatever.
Got it.
Yeah.
No, like I have run a gun with most of that like build. Definitely not that paint job. But like
I thought that paint job was rad as hell.
Oh yeah,
personally,
it's super cool.
Yeah.
I feel like it would stand out too much here, but it looks slick.
We weren't worried about camo at AMS, so it's the sort of
right.
setup. I don't know if she's updated it, but yeah,
all of this is like this is a nice action shot of I am ruining someone's day.
The only point of criticism I might have is she's leaning away from the rifle instead of leaning into the rifle. It's like, are you scared it's gonna like hit you in the face?
But I mean, that's a real steel shooting thing that doesn't matter for what we're doing. It has no practical.
I know, but like, I don't know, it just harshes the vibe.
I mean, fair. Like I can see where you're coming from, but like I don't think it matters for airsoft in any like practical way.
No, definitely not. No, it's just, people are going to life you about it, as you so eloquently put it. All right, we just got a few more to get through, and then we'll be done. A little bit of a longer episode today, but
That's
I'm
good. This
here
is
for
fun.
it.
I'm enjoying it.
So this one was submitted by Taylor, and I'm glad that he hid his face.
That was a bad time to be taking a mouthful.
He hid his face, which is great because we're not in the habit of showing pictures of 11-year-olds on this channel. So it's good that he hid his face. And the brace on his leg is not part of the outfit. He has a leg injury. So
well,
just for clarity.
That sucks, my dude. I hope it heals quickly and cleanly for you. Like the GAT, like paint it, but I like it.
Yeah.
So we've got this chest rig is weird. So we've got mag pouches behind some sort of big ass admin pocket.
Yeah.
That is Velcroed on, maybe.
I mean, it certainly looks like it. I don't think it's Molly on the front there.
Okay,
yeah.
So like, I'm super curious what's in there, but at the same time, like you can definitely run, a 4-mag game of airsoft is very achievable as long as you're not doing like long games.
Mm-hmm.
Dangler's not bad, but like it does make me wonder, like, okay, so like clearly the bottom pouch is full, so like do we just have the other one on there for fun?
Yeah.
Do you unvelcro it and use it for like a cushion to take a nap mid-game? Because that's appealing.
I can imagine that pouch getting ripped off. Like the first moment that you like try and crawl prone or something, it just gets ripped off. Like forget it. Yeah. It's so, obviously I don't know if he's even gamed this. Like it looks completely clean, like it's never been used.
Yeah, like I like everything else about that setup. That pouch confuses the hell out of me, and I'd love to know what the like rationale is. And paint the gun.
Although as I think about it, to be fair, it looks like there's some sort of like Molly attachment on the Velcro here, right?
Yeah.
So it's possible that there's a similar thing underneath it, and it's mollied.
Okay, so if it's mollied on there, then like at least it's not going to go away immediately. But I'm still puzzled what it's doing. And like at the end of the day, if you're like, well, I have the dangler full of snacks and like I keep my phone in here, I guess fair enough. But definitely not sure what's up with that. The face killed me.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, man, like this feels like a very like early into airsoft kind of kit, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting if you think back, like what did an early into airsoft kit look like for us compared to what it looks like now, right? And
yeah, well, I mean,
with like Amazon and stuff. Like when we started playing airsoft, Amazon did not exist.
Yep.
Right. So like
we are that old, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's certainly something. So here we have Todd. Todd was with us at AMS Iron Horse, but he didn't play. He took photos for us. But he went back to the Guardian Center last month, I believe, for a different op that was run. I think it's Sirius Viking. I could be mistaken about that. Apologies if I did get it wrong. But this is the kit that he wore. There's two different outfits. One of them is like he had a multicam top, and the other one he had like a regular coyote top, I think, or something. So
yeah, see that. This looks pretty practical. We've got 6 mags on the chest, radio. Those look like 40 mic grenades, which is weird because there's no 40mm. But
where down here?
Yeah, like that.
I think those are actually tag-ins.
Oh, okay.
Like the throwable frags.
Okay, cool. Just me getting it wrong because of the photo. Sorry, folks. But yeah, okay. So those are great. Then what is this like? Do you have a drink holder on the front of his belt?
That's a good question.
I think that's actually a radio pouch. It just looks like you could put a coffee cup in it.
Maybe it's an Nalgene holder.
Yeah.
It looks like he's got a bandage on his arm.
Yeah, someone has shot this man.
Mm-hmm.
Good face pro. Like this is again like pretty dialed in.
And I think so and then the other one that he did, he sent us a butt picture, which is, we always appreciate that. And sorry for zooming in on your butt there, Todd, but he's got his tank mounted horizontally.
There's a pistol back there too.
And he runs his I don't know if he's got a double tap. No, I don't think he does. But I think he mentioned that he did that before. Anyway, yeah. So he's got his HPA tank, and he has a smaller tank that he runs there, horizontally mounted like that.
Yeah. No, this is a nice kit. Works well. I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'd be curious, like how he finds it for air volume over like a longer game. But that's more of just a like me being interested in the practicalities of approaches to airsoft kit than a
And
like.
you can't see it in this picture, but you can see here he's wearing like the Merrill Moabs or whatever.
Yep.
But in this picture, he actually is wearing trail runners instead of the hiking shoes. Yeah, so that's a better view of the
here. Oh yeah, yeah, those are
tank. See that there?
Yeah, no, I dig this.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's a really good setup, and it just does exactly what you need to, and it's like clean on the back, very light on the front. You just have everything. And I confirmed with him, like having the tank like that doesn't wobble around too much, especially where the tank is smaller. So it's something I've been thinking about as well.
Yeah, I feel like it wouldn't work for the size of tank we are both using right now, but I dig it.
Yeah,
like, and I can see it being.
If you drop down to like a 22 or something, it would probably be okay.
And like, I mean, if you're for a lot of what we do, I can see that being completely fine.
Yeah. And the second last one that we have, Tullen submitted pictures that looked like they were taken in 1970.
Yeah, I mean, the gears from 1970, the photos from 1970, the photo qualities, a digital camera from 1970.
Yeah. It's got his Chicom with his flowers painted on it.
Why the flowers? Is that a thing, or is it just a him thing?
It's like wearing a peace button on your flag vest and having "Born to Kill" written on your helmet. I think he's trying to suggest something about the duality of man once again.
Same idea, different kit. Gotcha. Cool, man.
And
again, like very bad guy getting shot at by Bruce Willis.
Yeah, this one here, it's back on. He doesn't have his helmet on. He swapped it out for just a cap. But he's carrying a some sort of haversack or I don't know what courier bag or whatever bag, with maybe. All kinds of junk in it probably.
Yeah, this feels like kind of Johnny.
Yeah, it does. And like of all the pictures that we submitted, this is the one that's probably the most action shoddy of all. Like I don't think his feet are actually touching the ground anywhere in this photo.
He is in mid-bound.
Yeah. Very dynamic.
Bounding very literally.
Yeah. Can't see his trigger fingers, so I'm going to assume that it's good. But
I mean, if it's
we're watching,
given where he's in the air, if it's not good, he's going to shoot that guy in front of him.
Yeah, exactly right.
So we'll assume he's figured that out.
I think we have one more from him. Yeah, here we go. So you can see his kit like a little bit better. Again, the photo quality is not awesome, but
yeah, no, like I get what he's going for here.
And look at the mess with his laces.
I was just going to say kudos on wearing the world's most uncomfortable boots.
Yeah.
I suspect
he's wearing 2-point sling, which is good.
The gloves are also pretty uncomfortable. But yeah, like it's definitely a vibe. He's definitely, like Matt, he has a plan here. He has a thing he wants to be repping, and he is doing it.
Yeah, I mean, this is for me. This is soup sandwich. I think like it's like all over the place.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. I feel like you're right, but I simultaneously feel like he's doing a thing.
Look at that, Jordan. His finger's not in the magwell or in the trigger guard. It's actually not even there.
Phil will be lifing you about this forever. It's not going to stop. It has begun, and it will never end.
And I think the very last one, this one.
Oh, hey, I know that guy. This is one of my favorite like versions of my airsoft kit I've ever run. I didn't like that chest rig because it also was one size fits all, but it was sized for Phil.
Yeah, plate carrier. In fact,
plate carrier. Sorry, yeah, my bad. But that is with my old repro radio that's giant. So you can see the antenna coming up. And that is still aesthetically. I think I liked it better once I put the folding stock on it, but it didn't really matter. Like I'm easily a big enough dude to run the full solid stock on an AR and have it be completely fine. But like, I loved that rifle. I loved how that replica looks. It is super fun. I still have most of that kit. I don't have the replica. And it's funny. I've looked lately into like because we were talking about the fact that I really liked that look. I've looked into replicating it, and I basically can't do it with the like brands of gun parts that I want to do it with.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there's a bit of nostalgia there too. Like, you definitely don't want an ACOG
Oh god,
replica,
no! Like
right? Like, they're
yeah,
trash.
that thing was garbage.
Yeah.
I would, in every way, have been better off using a red dot, including specifically a red dot aim point. Like, yeah, I think what I have now works better than that did, in every way. But I do like that look a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and this picture was taken in 2014, so it's over 10 years old now, which is crazy to
it's
think
older
about.
than at least one of our listeners.
Yes, absolutely. It's older than Taylor, that's for sure.
You know,
yeah.
You know,
so
I still have those
guys.
I still have those gloves in my my kit box. They are like completely destroyed and irreparable, but they're still there.
So, guys, those are all the pictures that you guys sent, and some that you didn't. Hopefully, you had fun hanging out with us while we sort of, roasted and rated and talked about sort of our preferences with some of the stuff that we've seen. Thank you again so much for submitting them.
Thanks,
this
guys.
is super fun for us to do.
This is like a really entertaining, chill way to do an episode for us. Like, it's I won't say no effort, but like it's low effort for us. And like I know at time of recording, it's right before winter break, and I'm a teacher, so like I could use a nap. But
yeah,
like it's also really fun. It's cool to see what everyone's running. It's cool to get my periodic reminder that the Discord thinks that I should own an AAP.
yeah.
Because I need more bad ideas. But thank you so much for sharing those. It's really cool to get to look at what other people are running and get more bad ideas.
Yeah. And thank you so much for listening in 2024. We've done some really cool stuff this year.
Absolutely.
And 2025 is shaping up to be a pretty banger year as well. And we're really excited to be able to share that with you. So yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for contributing. Thanks for joining the Discord.
Thank you for
myself and for the whole team. I want to wish all of you guys a happy holidays and Merry Christmas, whatever you celebrate. And hopefully you have time to rest and relax and spend time with your loved ones, your friends, your family, whomever that is, over the next coming weeks. And we will, I guess, see you next year for season 5, of Call Your Hits.
Thank you for making us a part of your airsoft community and for being a part of ours. And have a fantastic holiday season. Rest up, get cool toys, come back after and tell us about them.
Take care, everyone. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.